Since June, we've been offering private prayer in church fortnightly on Tuesdays at midday. But for the last few months, I've been wondering whether we stop it. I've been wondering that because in part, and for my liking, it wasn't offering enough to serve or bless those outside the church family. A month or so ago, as another hour of private prayer drew to a close, I was wondering again whether we stop offering it. At the end of the hour, as I prepared to wipe down surfaces and mark the chairs that had been used, an unknown woman entered the church at the back. She asked for just 5 minutes to be still and pray at the front of church. Of course, I welcomed her in, regardless of the time. Whilst she was unknown to me, she was intimately known by God. She sat at the front of church, and after a few minutes I noticed her silently weeping as she looked up at the cross on the communion table behind me. In the Psalms, we read David's words, Psalm 34. I sought the Lord and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. And in another psalm, Psalm 118, we read, when hard pressed, I cried to the Lord, and he brought me into a spacious place. I'm convinced that the Lord still listens to the cries of our hearts. The Lord is ready for us. He's waiting for us, and he's always listening to us. Back in church, I moved to sit suitably close to the woman as she wept quietly. And I asked her if she would like me to pray with her. She thanked me and shared her story of sorrow and hardship. She told me that she had passed these doors many a time in the past, but that day she felt strangely drawn to come inside. She went on to describe the sense of peace that she now felt in what she called God's house. She said she felt embraced by love. In the end, she stayed for about 30 minutes before leaving with a glow and words of deep gratitude. Now, I don't know what happened to her in the days and the weeks that followed, and I've not seen her since. But what I do know is that that day, a broken person entered the church and a healing person left it. I had little to do with it. I just welcomed her, sat with her and prayed under my breath as she spoke. The Spirit was on the loose, and the Spirit was doing far more than I ever could. Now, ever since then, I've been wondering, rather than should we have an open church like that at all, I've been wondering whether we should have an open church like that for longer. Could we make better use of the freedom we have to open our doors? Well, I think we could. What if the church building was an open space where the Spirit was on the loose? A place where the Spirit's given a free rein to move and to speak to the receptive heart. A place where stillness might be enjoyed and God's presence experienced. What if the church building was known amongst our wider communities as a safe and warm, peace-filling and life-giving place that they proactively want to spend time in? As a church, the people of the church, we want our neighbours and surrounding communities to know that we're here, that we're for them, and that we want to bless them. We want this building to be a place where anyone, most especially our neighbours and all strangers, can meet God, know his peace, and be renewed by the power of his Spirit. Now, to create that space, the single most important and significant issue at hand is who would be willing to be present in the church during those extended hours of being open. We'd need at least 2 people at all times for safeguarding purposes. One man, one woman. the staff team are not able to offer more than they already are. So do we have enough other people willing to offer that? Well, I don't know. Firstly, I wonder whether you might be willing to offer time to that. If that is the case, if so, please do get in touch with the church office. And secondly, I wonder whether you might promote it to your neighbours, your colleagues, and perhaps lead them here yourself. We would love the church to be open church, to offer an open church to our communities and our neighbours as a safe place to be still, to receive peace and to feel God's presence. Might you be a part of making that happen? Please do take a close look at the latest news and the updates in the letter this week, because there are loads of important and really exciting news and bits of information in there that I'm sure you won't want to miss out on.